Welcome to Davar Word. It is my pleasure to share with you what I have discovered in my walk so that we can learn and grow together. Even though the Torah is ancient, it is timeless and it is eternal. In Devarim, Moses gave his final thoughts to make sure the people understood what was expected of them after he died. Moses knew that he would not enter the land with his people. He was giving instructions to the Israelites because they would soon enter the promised land. Moses himself knew that he himself would not be able to do these things, and he also recognized that his own end was imminent, meaning he would die soon. Moses recognized the limits of his own life and still offered instruction to guide the people, to teach those who would outlive him. The ritual of bringing first fruits to the temple was an act of acknowledging God's provision and blessings. The 7 species of first fruits in the land of Israel are pomegranate, date, fig, barley, wheat, olive, grapes. Yeshua is the first fruits of those fallen asleep. The farmer is unable to give any of his produce because the land and all that is in it belong to God. Similarly, we are unable to give anything to God because everything is already His. Give to God what belongs to Him by giving of ourselves and our possessions to do His will, because we and what belongs to us actually really belongs to Him. 1 Chronicles chapter 29 verse 14 says, David prayed, "Since everything is from you, it is from your hand that we have given to you." The land of Israel belongs to God, not to Israel. It is like when parents buy a house and one room is given to the son and one room is given to the daughter. The rooms are for the children, but in actual fact, the rooms belong to the parents who bought the house. Similarly, the land of Israel belongs to God. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 23 says, Messiah is the first fruits. The first fruits is not exactly the first fruit to ripen on the tree, but first as in meaning the most important, the primary thing, the main thing. The first fruits here means the most important fruit or the most beautiful fruit of the harvest, the one that is not worm-eaten, pest-infested, the large, juicy one, the barley stalk or the wheat stalk with the most grains, the heaviest of grains. You get the picture. The first, in terms of quality, the absolute best, the highest quality, the choicest fruit, the cream of the crop. Everything done for the sake of God should be of the best and most beautiful. When Israel built a tabernacle for God, it was of the best, and it was more beautiful than the Israelites' own tent. Prioritize the first and best of our fruit, time, energy, resources. They must be devoted to God. We feed the hungry with the best and sweetest of our table. When we clothe the naked, we should clothe them with the finest of clothes. Whenever we designate something for a holy purpose, set-apart purpose, a special purpose for God, we should sanctify the finest of our possessions. The choicest portion is for God. Don't give God scraps or leftovers. We give Him the first fruits, the first and very finest. The rabbis say the first fruits is not just one fruit, but 1/60th of the harvest. The farmer stands in front of the altar and gives the basket of first fruits to the priest. He will sing a very beautiful psalm prescribed for the occasion. In this ceremony, all are equal, from the simple farmer to the king himself. They grasp their baskets and stand before the priest. For every man who has lands and possessions fills his vessels with every different species of fruit borne by fruit-bearing trees. He brings the first fruits of his abundant crop into the temple with great joy. The basket of first fruits is waved upwards, downwards, left, right, front and back. If we think about it, it is the form of the cross. Just as a farmer brings his first fruits to the temple each year, we can also renew ourselves each year. No matter what troubles or difficulties we experienced in the past year, we can always recall God's kindness and strive to renew ourselves and our dedication to Him. The time of first fruits is the time of renewal that we bring our best selves to God. That's why the first fruits, the finest and best of everything that we have, we give to God. Israel will bring the best of the first fruits of their harvest to the place where God will choose to make His name rest there. This is Jerusalem, and specifically the Temple Mount, for this is the only place where God has ever made His name to rest. In the Psalms we read, a psalm, a song of ascents. These are Psalm 120 to 134. It means that as the people are going up to Jerusalem, up to the temple to offer their first fruits, they are singing those psalms. We sharpen our souls here on earth, and in the New Jerusalem, we will be the first fruits and persons that we were meant to be. We will embody the character and unblemished personhood that we were created to be, called to be. We carry with us the lessons of the past learnings, and new opportunities of learning will help us in the future because we will find the true gift, which is the us we were meant to be when we reach the promised land. Here on earth, we have the chance to grow, the chance to explore, and the opportunity to become the best future version of ourselves in the promised land. Realize what is important in our lives and schedule that first, which is the service and worship of God. Let's not allow our lives to be so entangled with trivial, unimportant stuff that we forget the main purpose of why we are here. Make time for what is important, for who is important, which is God. Be intentional and purposeful, living in the moment. Have awe or respect of God. Receive the secret of happiness. Be in the service of God. One day, we have to give an account of every stewardship of every resource. The Hebrew word for commandment is mitzvah. Another related word is zavta, which means together. When we perform mitzvah, we become zavta, together with God, one with God, in unison with God, in relationship with God, to change history. Our relationship with God is not mindless or grudging obedience. We have been given the opportunity to join God, to walk down the path of history in step with our Creator. If we encounter something that comes into our path in front of us to do that must be done, we must do it with feelings of elation, gratitude, and joy that we were given the opportunity to do it. If we feed the hungry, we do that because God fed the hungry Israel in the wilderness. In 1 Kings chapter 17 verse 4, it says that during a time of drought, the word of the Lord directed Elijah to camp by the brook of Cherith, where the ravens would bring him bread and meat twice a day, and he could drink from the brook. In 1 Kings chapter 19, the angel of Adonai provided Elijah with a cake baked on hot stones and a jar of water, providing him food and drink. If we clothe the naked, we do that because God clothed Adam and Eve even when they sinned against Him. Let us partner with God in this amazing goal. Save whoever is lost. Build and replace brokenness and shattered lives with absolute healing, help, and mercy. The world is crying out in sadness and brokenness. We repair the world, healing it with incredible joy and gladness. When we give God our very best, this joy is so great that it reaches down to our feet and lifts them up until we dance for joy. With this joy, we can reach all the way down to the lowest levels of our own sadness, depression, feelings that life is meaningless, emotions of being trapped, feelings of hopelessness, and lift up all of these. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed our time together. Thank you for joining me. I pray that this message inspires and challenges you. God bless you and your family. Shalom.